We recently received an update from our beautiful Taekook, and as always, they've reappeared together at the gym. Every time they appear, the feeling they convey is that they don't want to be separated for even a moment, as if simply sharing these spaces is a natural necessity for both of them. The truth is that beyond the training routine, what's striking is the closeness with which they display each other. Jungkook and Taehyung seem to form a little world of their own amidst the gym activity, and every gesture between them becomes a detail that fans can't miss. However, within this update, there was one detail that particularly caught our attention. Kim Jungkook, the gym owner, commented that he was waiting for a vlog to be finished. And immediately, anticipation skyrocketed. Could we see a vlog dedicated to Taekook, showing their moments together during training? This mere possibility has generated a wave of comments on social media. Some fans were quick to express their eagerness to see the results of this edition, as it would be the perfect opportunity to see Taehyung and Jungkook in a much more relaxed environment, sharing laughs, and perhaps even those little pranks that only they know how to do. The idea of seeing Taekook training together in an official vlog not only represents new content, but also the chance to witness in greater detail how they complement each other. Every movement, every glance, and every gesture can become another indication of that connection that fans feel so evident. The wait for this material generates positive anxiety, a shared desire to see them develop in a space where naturalness belongs to them. Of course, many fans are also excited by the idea that Jungkook could appear without sportswear, showing part of his physique and especially his tattoos, while performing his routines alongside Taehyung. This possibility adds an extra level of interest and excitement, as it represents a unique opportunity to see a more personal side of Jungkook in Taehyung's company. Every detail, no matter how small, is multiplied in meaning when it comes to Taekook. They manage to turn even the most mundane scenes into moments that fans cherish, because behind every appearance there are always gestures that speak louder than any words. We are deeply grateful for this new news and for the fact that they continue to share spaces together in such an evident way. Once again, Taehyung and Jungkook prove that their bond doesn't need grand declarations to shine. Their joint presence alone is enough to make it clear that this connection is strong, constant, and increasingly visible. And in the end, the big question that keeps everyone on edge is this: when will we be able to fully enjoy this vlog that promises to be one of Taekook's most memorable pieces of content? Taekook, the most adorable couple in history, two people who seem to share the same soul. That unique connection they have between them doesn't arise out of nowhere, it's born from every moment shared, from every glance they exchange, and from every gesture that, although it may seem simple at first glance, holds a profound meaning. Two beautiful people who, over time, have managed to reflect each other, as if they were a mirror that not only shows the exterior, but also the most intimate essence of whoever looks into it. And it's no coincidence, there's a belief that when two people live together for too long, their expressions, their gestures, and even their way of reacting begin to resemble each other. And don't we see it clearly in them? Namjoon once said it clearly: Taekook is the same person with two different names. And it's not just a nice phrase, it's a truth that anyone can notice if they look closely. Because what they share goes far beyond the obvious, you can feel it in what they convey without even saying a word. Taehyung and Jungkook have that energy that seems to envelop you and make you part of their world, as if every moment together is a new chapter in a story that never stops growing. Taekook is not only adorable, he's also playful. Their relationship is full of small gestures that seem insignificant, but which actually build an emotional routine that's impossible to ignore. Taehyung and Jungkook have given us such lovely, memorable scenes that make it impossible not to remember them again and again. That moment in which they appear so domestic, so closely coupled, so in love, makes it clear that their relationship isn't a coincidence, much less a planned act. These are moments that arise naturally, unscripted and uncalculated, because what exists between them needs no prior preparation to shine. One of the sweetest and most talked about memories was the one in which Taehyung sat comfortably on Jungkook's lap. It wasn't just a physical gesture, it was a silent declaration of trust, closeness, and affection. Their smiles, the way Jungkook looked at him at that moment, conveyed such pure tenderness that many viewers couldn't help but smile at the sight. It was as if for a second, the entire world disappeared and only the two of them existed. Of course, not everyone viewed it with the same sensitivity. That very moment made the Jungkooks uncomfortable, especially people who had never supported Taekook's idea. Many began to criticize the scene, arguing that Jungkook shouldn't have allowed it, as if a gesture of affection needed the approval of a third party. But this is where the inevitable question arises: why so much discomfort in the face of something so natural and beautiful? The truth is that Jungkook, over time, has shown us time and time again what his choice is. And that choice has always had a name and a face: Taehyung. No matter the pressure, the external comments, or the criticism, Jungkook, silently but firmly, has always chosen Taehyung above everything and everyone. And that detail, though it may seem small, says more than any words. In the midst of this, there are those who confuse or want to confuse the public. Many people know about the fan service between Jimin and Jungkook. They talk about their interactions as if they were proof of a hidden bond, but they forget a crucial fact: these kinds of gestures are scripted. It's no secret that companies often set the lines for what idols can show, say, or even insinuate in front of the cameras. Jimin and Jungkook have often followed that script because that's how the industry works. It's about entertainment, not emotional truths. But then the big difference arises, the one that marks a chasm between what is a staged act and what is born authentically. Because when Jungkook is with Taehyung, there are no cameras directing, no staff preparing the script, no company dictating what should happen. What we see is pure, it's genuine, it's unvarnished love. And that's where everything becomes impossible to deny. What Jungkook shows Taehyung isn't just companionship, it's a unique emotional language they've built over time. Every shared smile, every seemingly innocent touch, every lingering glance is part of an invisible routine that, though many try to minimize it, is there, constant and repetitive. These aren't isolated gestures, they're intimate habits that only emerge when there's a real bond. At the end of the day, what we're left with is a resounding certainty: Taekook doesn't need external validation or lengthy explanations. His work speaks for itself. And though some try to tarnish it with rumors, comparisons, or criticism, the truth continues to shine through in every shared moment. One of the most interesting things about Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship is the way certain gestures are repeated over and over, as if they were part of a silent language that only they understand. These aren't simple random actions or movements that go unnoticed, they're constant patterns that emerge whenever they're around each other, like a melody that returns with every encounter. This isn't a coincidence, and anyone who observes closely can notice it. When someone naturally repeats the same gestures with just one person, it's because behind those actions there's trust, there's habit, there's intimacy. And that's precisely what's fascinating, how their relationship seems to emerge effortlessly, without rehearsal, without the need to explain it in words. The couple's gestures between Taehyung and Jungkook aren't subtle or hidden, on the contrary, they're filled with a naturalness that makes them impossible to ignore. Touching each other without fear, settling tenderly into the spaces they share, searching for each other with their eyes even amidst the noise of the crowds, all of this has been seen time and time again, and each repetition reinforces the idea that these are not improvised movements, but part of an emotional habit. The most surprising thing is that they never seem awkward or forced, but quite the opposite, they seem free, calm, enjoying the closeness. One of the sweetest and most talked about memories, which still remains vivid in the minds of many, was that moment when Taehyung sat comfortably on Jungkook's lap. It wasn't a random gesture or a simple physical approach. It was a silent declaration of absolute trust, a moment where closeness ceased to be a casual act and transformed into a symbol of deep affection. The scene became a perfect portrait of what they are like when they are together, two people who, without saying a single word, say everything to each other. Their smiles at that moment shone with a complicity that was difficult to hide, and Jungkook's gaze toward Taehyung was filled with pure tenderness, a tenderness that disarmed everyone who observed it. It was so intimate that it seemed as if, for a second, the entire world disappeared around them, leaving only the two of them in an invisible bubble. For many, that scene was a source of joy and tenderness. Fans who have always believed in Taekook's strength couldn't help but smile, get emotional, and feel like they were witnessing a genuine moment, something that doesn't need a script or cameras to shine. But not everyone interpreted it with the same sensitivity. That same moment aroused discomfort in those who cling to the opposite idea, especially among the vkook who have never supported the possibility of Taehyung and Jungkook as a couple. For them, the gesture was a threat, an uncomfortable image that didn't fit with the narrative they were trying to sustain. And therein lies the irony: the more they try to deny, the more evidence appears, and each piece of evidence ends up carrying even more weight.